Hey guys, Pichu here. Just a quick update in terms of the playoff picture for Season 30 of the Pokemon Cup Series. I did the Montegi race earlier today. I set up all 16 drivers in the playoffs. You did see that Jessica Counterman was going to be the last driver in the playoffs based on points. Well, there has now been a change. A shocking change has happened before the playoffs begin. Jessica Counterman will not be racing again this season. And there was a big reason why Counterman will not return to the 48 for the rest of the season. But I won't go into too much detail. They've informed me that Jessica Counterman will not be returning for the rest of the season for a certain reason, but I'm not going to go into detail about that out of respect for them and their family. But it's not really that good anyway. So I'd rather not talk about it right here, right now. But for those of you that follow me on Facebook, some of you might know already about Counterman's release from the series, well, coincidentally, she got the final playoff spot on points. So there had to be a change in the playoff picture right now. So there you see the playoff drivers in the field, and one change: Jessica Counterman will be replaced by Anthony Lopez in the playoff race. So Counterman was going to have the most points among non-winners, but that role now goes to Anthony Lopez. And by the way, the difference between Lopez and the other driver with the next highest was 1 point. 1 point separated Lopez and DJ Curtis from the 16th and final playoff spot. So makes it look more intense than it should be. So, well, Counterman is out, and Counterman is out, and Lopez is in. So I made a little bit of adjustments in terms of the top 10 regular season playoff point totals. Lopez now has 5 playoff points to begin with, and 3, by the way, for the 3-stage wins. And Gardner has 4 playoff points from that, I believe, seventh place in terms of the winners, and 15 playoff points because he won 3 races, and 1 playoff point for winning a stage, and the others remain unchanged. And well, Jonathan Reigns now has 6 playoff points to deal with, 5 playoff points and a 1 playoff point for now, and Wickens 7 playoff points and 10 playoff points as well, and the rest remain unchanged. So that's the playoff. That's the 16 driver playoff set with the adjusted change. And so Jessica Counterman will not be returning to the 48 for the rest of the season. And I'm here to announce that Daniel Coffey will drive the 48 for the rest of the season. This was my choice. This was my personal choice. And for those of you that don't know already, Pichu, Luke, and Leia will retire from Pokemon Cup and NR Channel 3 Racing in general after Season 30. So I thought I'd give my friend my personal friend, one more shot at driving a Pokemon Cup car, at least one more chance in the 48. So he might be able to win for one more time, and might have a chance to win one last time, considering that Pichu, Luke, and Leia are also going to be retiring at the end of Season 30, the current season. So I'm going to give Daniel Coffey one more chance to get another victory in the Pokemon Cup Series. He hasn't been active in a long time, but never really fully retired because he's one of my own drivers as well, but he was a personal friend of mine, so I let him go. But I'm going to be adding Daniel Coffey back in the 48 for 10 more races, just to play spoiler and just to see if he could win one more time in the Pokemon Cup Series. So this will also be his very last season. This will be the very last season I use my own drivers in the Pokemon Cup Series. And so Season 31 is going to be a complete roster of different drivers. And none of my own drivers will ever compete in another NR Channel 3 race again. I know Pichu London's competing in one more open wheel series in the NNSC Sports and Gaming channel. That will be his very last series that he does outside Pokemon Cup series, but for Luke and Leia, this will be the very last series they participate in NR Town 3, and then we fully retire. All four of my drivers fully retire from the series. And Daniel Coffey will have one more shot at a win in the number 48, replacing Jessica Counterman. And like I said, Counterman's been released from her ride. She requested it for reasons I'm not going to go into too much detail about here, but she will not be a playoff driver as a result. And Anthony Lopez, the next highest driver with the most points among non-winners, will get the final spot in the playoffs instead. The difference between Lopez and Curtis was 1 point, believe it or not. So that's how the playoffs were decided. And the playoff point allocations are on your screen right now. Everybody gets 1,000 points plus playoff points they earned from winning a race, winning a stage, and being in the top 10 in terms of points among playoff drivers. Not top 10 in total points, but top 10 among the 10 highest, the 10 drivers with the most points among the winners, so to speak. Trying to make that as clear as possible. But anyway, so we're going to start the playoffs very soon. This is Pichu London, and we will see you guys next time.